Hello everybody, happy Sunday. Here we are as always. Glad to be here on Sunday. Like last week, if you were here, we had that little hiccup where it was Monday instead of Sunday. So this has been a much smoother Sunday and weekend over here at my house. So hopefully you all have had a good weekend too. Here we are rolling into the last week of November, Thanksgiving week if you are in the United States. So a holiday short week for a lot of people. So coming into that time of year where lots of people are getting really busy, doing holiday things, activities, family things, whole lot going on. So just a friendly reminder to always make space for whatever the things are that you need on whatever level. Sometimes being with so many people and having so many obligations and things and feeling like you have to do things can be a lot. So just putting that out there for anybody that may possibly be able to use that. I'm going to put our intention up if you haven't seen it yet. Always releasing it on Saturday so that way you can sit with it for a little while to see what good stuff comes up for yourself. But if it's the first time you're hearing it, here's the intention. Ambition remains during triumph and trials. Ambition remains through triumph and trials. So as always, intention is completely guided and flavored by what we have going on in the sky this week. And the astrology for this week is pretty straightforward, not a whole lot of aspects. So we will be talking about that, and that is where the intention comes from. Always looking at everything that is going on, placements, aspects, positioning of the planets, how they are or are not talking to each other. And lately, the last few weeks, we've had, I don't know, I guess it feels like more than the last few weeks. It seems like we've had quite a bit of stuff going on. So not having quite as many aspects. I don't know that I want to say not as much energy because the aspects that we have are powerful. Yeah, not as diverse and not as many different things going on at one time. So I'm going to allow you to sit with that intention for just a moment if you haven't taken time to do so before. Ambition remains during triumph and trials. Hopefully that intention makes you feel good. Maybe it makes you smile. Maybe it makes you want to do something. Maybe it makes you feel motivated and ready to tackle your to-do list. Maybe it feels a little overwhelming. Maybe it feels like there hasn't been motivation. It's kind of like, yeah, right, that's a hard one. Okay, so that is our intention for the week. Like I said, this week is pretty straightforward. Last week of the lunar cycle, so we are in that waning phase where the light is decreasing. The new moon is a week from today, next Sunday, so our next meditation will be on the new moon day. So this is closing out the lunar cycle, so things are coming to a close this week. The only actual aspect that we have is on Wednesday this week, Mars trining the sun. So like I said, not a lot of aspects, but the aspect that we have is powerful. So we have this trine between Mars in the sign of Leo and the sun in the sign of Sagittarius. So the sun and Mars coming together are powerful planets in general. Enthusiastic, motivating, energy to take action, some sort of purpose-driven motivation. Mars being the planet of our drive, motivation, ambitions, our actions, the things that we do, the movements that we take, the things that make us tick, the things that make us go, the things that motivate us, for better or for worse. The sun, the solar light that is always there. Our power, our purpose, that never-changing soul level part of us that is unchangeable within this body, that is completely changing and flexible and growing and aging all the time. So you have this very steady energy. Mars is go, not stop. So it's this very steady energy. Steady was one of the words that I thought about using in the intention, but you ended up using remains instead. The sun is very powerful and very steady as well. So between the sun and the moon, which is the light that is constant and never changes, the sun is always there even if the clouds are covering it. It's always this big ball of fire in the sky. We expect that to stay that way. We expect it not to change. The moon, it changes, it's flexible. So it represents things that are shifting and changing, the environment within our lives, the different situations, the karma, the fate and fortune, the balance within our life. That's the moon. The sun are these things that are unchanging, okay? It's our soul, it's our purpose, it's our drive, it's our motivation. It's that part within us that moves us towards whatever it is that we're moving towards, okay? So you have these two planets, when they come together in an aspect, there is this steady, strong, enthusiastic energy. You put it in a trine, it's an expansive energy. So there's this ability for these two planets to work together in a way that they can grow together. Then you put them in fire signs. You put Mars in the sign of Leo in the place of the sun, a place that is very individualistic focused. It's very focused on the individual and the power, purpose, the drive, and the expression of the one, of the individual. And then you have Sagittarius, a fire sign that is ruled by Jupiter, that is about the expansion of many, many different things, bringing all things together in a optimistic, sometimes overly optimistic way, wanting to experience all the things, do all the things. Sometimes it kind of gets caught up in that idea of wanting to do more, wanting to understand more, experience more, all of those expanding more, Jupiterian type things. But you see where there is just a lot of power and a lot of movement, a lot of drive and a lot of motivation, a lot of big thoughts, a lot of big actions, all within this one aspect that we have. Going exact on Wednesday, so it's building all through this week, and really you can take it Monday through Friday for this aspect. This week. So there is this motivation, okay? Ambition remains during triumph and trials. So I went back and forth between ambition and motivation. I ended up choosing ambition because motivation feels a little bit more like a reason to do something, like I'm doing something because I'm motivated because of whatever this other thing is. Ambition, both of them can come from like internally or externally, but ambition just felt more driven to me, felt more coming from inside, coming from like within your own being, and this feeling of wanting to go forward rather than like being motivated to go forward because of I don't know, some other thing. I don't know that I'm really explaining this quite right, but ambition feels more singular, more coming from the individual, where motivation feels more like it had more of a external force or external influence of some kind to it. So this feeling coming from within you to move forward, take steps, do whatever the thing is that you have to do, feeling energetic, not really sure that there would be much lethargic energy within this. If anything, it might be a little overstimulating for some people, where like there is you take on too many things than what you can really do within a day, or you have these big lofty ideals of everything that you can get done, but maybe it's a little bit grandiose, so then there's a little bit of anxiety that sets in because you've set all these like ambitious plans to do things, and then you can't quite fit it all in. I could see that kind of being a little bit of a shadow thing. But there's energy to take action, there's energy to move, there's energy to change. Of course, if that gets blown up too far, then that can inhibit other people's motivation and ability to change. So, always making sure that we're mindful, we're not stepping on anybody else's toes. The interesting thing is that by Wednesday, Mercury will be retrograde as well. So we are coming into the stationing period early this week, and by Tuesday really is when Mercury is stationing to go retrograde, and then by Wednesday, Mercury is retrograde at the time that we have this this aspect, and that is also right before the new moon that we have coming up. So Mercury going retrograde at the same time that we have excuse me, the Mars-Sun trine happening here. It feels like if things come up and things like maybe we have so like things kind of throw us off of our plan or off kilter a little bit, it's that like power or that positive motivation, like that's okay, I can handle this, I can just be a little bit flexible and I can do it this way instead. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, so there is some flexibility. Leo is a fixed sign, so there's not quite as much, but there is that optimistic and that positive outlook with the Mars-Sun interaction that we have going on here. So it seems like if there's things that kind of pop up here, then maybe we can, on a positive level, we can overcome those because we have the energy and the drive and just the sheer will and desire to move forward with the things. Mercury turning retrograde right before the new moon makes me wonder what adaptations or what modifications need to happen, or what is required of us to maybe be a little flexible and change within the new thing that we are looking to start within the new moon that is coming up. So like wherever the motivations and the power and the drive to do the things are, I'm wondering, you know, what changes do we need to make within that? Where do we need to relook at things? If there are any revisions that need to happen, where do we need to maybe shift our focus and our perspective a little bit in order to start something new? With Mercury going retrograde during the waning phase, I'm wondering about what we need to look at that is holding us back. What is not allowing us to have that Sagittarian broad view? Are there little blockages that are not letting you see the whole picture? And are there any sort of changes that need to happen within our own ambitions and our own drives? So those things that make us, that like power us, where our ambition is, where our motivation is, are we doing those? Are they for the right reasons? Do we have the right ambitions? Do we have the right motivations? I don't think right and wrong is quite that black and white, but there is a right and there is a wrong, like within our own situations and within our own sovereignty. That's another word that seems key this week, is sovereign, and like being able to do your own things, go your own way, and do what it is that you feel like you have to do. So it's not necessarily that Mercury retrograde is going to automatically bring trials. I felt the need to be pretty stark here with the trials and the triumphs. The triumphs, Mars and the Sun coming together, feeling like we can overcome things, feeling like we are, you know, we can be a winner, we can be on top of things. The trials could be big things, but it could also just be that if the triumphs have us moving forward and marching forward in a very like positive forward type way, then the trials might just be things that make us take a step back. Or if we are like, you know, marching steps forward, then maybe it will make us have to just stop for a moment and just look around. It could be that small. It could be that we are moving too fast and Mercury retrograde is going to trip us up because we don't, we're not fully paying attention to something. But some sort of change or need to shift things. And often the whole Mercury retrograde cycle is not what is absolutely super crazy unless it's hitting points, specific points within your own chart. But that stationing period and that beginning of that retrograde period, that is the more powerful point. So it's interesting that Mars and the Sun are coming together right as Mercury is turning retrograde. So it's as if we're going forward, but we need to take a step back at the same time. So maybe we need to stop and hold on for a minute, keep that motivation, have that motivation remain while you're going forward and when you're stopped at the same time. So being able to keep that motivation up. So that's what I want to bring into our meditation for this week is motivation, movement, breath, bringing the energy in and up. That feels like it needs to be a key focus for this week. So yeah, like I said, astrology itself is pretty straightforward, but it's powerful. It's moving, and it's moving in a couple different directions because Mars and the Sun coming together pushes us forward, Mercury retrograde makes us review things, makes us stop for a minute and look at things. So card for today, I have one tarot and one oracle card. It's been a while since I pulled the oracle cards out, so they wanted to come out and play today. So tarot card is the Page of Swords. Page of Swords, that youthful, energetic, forward energy of the page. So the page is the first of the court cards, so it's stepping into something new. It feels very youthful and it feels very exuberant energy coming in, and that is very Sun Mars, in my opinion. You know, like it's not necessarily. So, you know, the fire signs initiate. Fire things are passion, action, inspiration, ready to move forward, and step into the thing. Whatever, finish the thing, start the new thing. The Page of Sword is new ideas, new ways of communicating, new ways of resources and new ways of looking at things, new perspectives. So I'm wondering if the Page of Swords is referring to Mercury going retrograde this week. And where do we need to shift our perspective a little bit? Where do we need to bring in some new form of communication, new resources, in order for that Mars Sun to fully go forward? It'll be interesting to see if there's anything new that pops in right around Wednesday for anybody that is just like a little helping hand. I guess Wednesday is the day before Thanksgiving, so there could be lots of people that could use an extra set of helping hands. So maybe it'll just be somebody stepping in to help you make Thanksgiving dinner. Maybe it'll be wherever your motivations are, maybe a little inspiration or a little tool or like a little cheerleading prompt of you can do it steps in that kind of shows you. And then I just felt like we needed an oracle card to go along with it this way. And today we get the drum. We get the drum. Dream and journey. Dream and journey. The beat of the drum is steady, right? It's steady, it's moving, and it's motivating. It transports us, it motivates us, it guides us, and it gives us a rhythm, it gives us a beat, it gives us a steadiness to go to, or to walk with, or to journey with, or whatever it may be. Dream and journey, very, very much optimistic of staying forward moving. So it's very much about this energy that we're talking about with Mars and the Sun coming together. So these two cards coming together, the Page of Swords and the drum, feels like there's going to be new ways to keep going. New ways, new things, new inspirations and communications, relationships, ideas, whatever the new thing is that helps you. New mercurial things that are going to pop up that allow you to keep following the beat of the drum and keep moving forward and keep going, keep on with the thing. So it's very motivating, it's very encouraging, and you know, we've had a lot of different energies going on here. So yes, that's what we have going on for this week. We have the Sun, Mars coming together, and then we have Mercury stationing to go retrograde. It's at 22 degrees of Sagittarius, and it's not going to go any further than that. So it's just going to back up, and then it's going to come back into that opposition with Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. So that ability, that helpful hand between Mercury and Jupiter, where we talked before about like how they are in each other's signs, and they're in a place that's like not super easy for them to be the way that they like to normally be, but they're able to help each other. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. So I almost wonder if the first time the two planets came together, like it made you see two different things, and now as they're going to start to come back together retrograde, maybe it's not fully integrated yet, but you start to see where these two things, like if they were kind of a little bit separate before, where maybe now we'll be able to start to see where they'll start to we see the path for integration. And then once they come back together through forward motion, then the full integration will come together. And that is a really, really cool thing between these two planets, because it melds together both motivation and ability, forwardness and the resources to do so. So we'll be talking about that in the future when those two planets come back together. So take one more look at that intention here. I'm going to stop for a moment to take a deep breath while you do so. Ambition remains during triumph and trials. So whatever Mercury retrograde throws at you this week and over the next few weeks, it's interesting to note that Mercury will be stationing to go direct during the full moon that we'll be having in the sign of Gemini. So this whole lunar cycle is very, very Mercury focused, because Mercury is pretty strong at both the new moon and the full moon. So there's there's that shiftiness, there's that changing of directions, there's that, like, I'm thinking like agility, I'm thinking like being able to zigzag back and forth. So be flexible, be open, be passionate, move forward, but be flexible at the same time to whatever comes forward. So I think we might do a little bit of movement to start our meditation today. I'm going to bring the intention down, and we have our intentional candle as always. I have a new candle holder here that I'm going to try out using. So I usually have the cup with dirt and rocks, which is one of my go-tos, but I've been looking for a candle holder similar to this one, and I found one thrifting yesterday with a friend that actually does the meditation here with us. So yeah, we're gonna give it a try, and I really, really love it. It's really, really cool. The Taurus in me loves thrifting for cool, neat little things, and I've been wanting a candlestick holder like this for a while. Like, it's got the little handle on it so you can carry it around. I put some crystals on there because it's got a little tray space down here. I just went into my like little tumbled box that I keep, and I just kind of grabbed handfuls out, so whoever wanted to come out to play is on the tray. Yeah, I was super, super excited to find this. So that's that. We'll light our intentional candle first, and then we will come into our meditation, and we're going to do a little bit of movement with that today. So intentional candle here as always, white for purity, a blank slate for you to turn into any color that you see fit, as well as infused with white sage oil to create a blank slate for whatever it is that you need to come through here. So I'm going to light my intentional candle, and as I do so, I'm going to repeat the intentional phrase out loud, encouraging you to do so with me in whatever capacity works well for you. Lighting our intentional candle, flame ignites and the flame grows. As the flame grows, so does our intention. Ambition remains during triumph and trials. Ambition remains during triumph and trials. Now, we've brought some movement into our meditations before. I'm already kind of shifting and swaying back and forth myself a little bit here, but this meditation, I want it to just be really, really invigorating. We will center it at the end. For me, it is almost 9 o'clock at night, so shortly after this, I tidy all of this up, tie up my loose ends for the night, and then I go to bed for work in the morning. So I know that's probably the case for a lot of folks here that are in the same time zone as me. There's a lot of people that this is a different time of day for them. But we will kind of center it as we bring the energy forward. And as we bring all that energy forward today, you know, picture bringing that into your week rather than just like into your body now. So you can spread that out over the next several days by your own intention. Just want to put that out there because I do want this to be very energetic and energizing, but I don't want anybody to be up too late tonight and you know, then there's a little bit of a negative effect on it. But this is to bring into the rest of the week for us. So real simple, real easy movements here, okay? I'm going to invite you to bring your hands together, palms together here, and if we take our palms and once we place them together, if we just kind of start rubbing our hands together, you start to feel that friction, you start to feel that warmth in between your hands. As you start to feel that warmth from the friction, you start to build energy. You cultivate energy from both the left and the right side of your body, from the masculine and the feminine side, from the receiving and the giving side. So you have, if you would like to start rubbing your hands together here with me, you'll start to feel that energy cultivating between your hands. And it's just waking up both sides of your body, both sides of your brain, and it's starting to flow that energy from one side to the other. Bring it together like a little bit of a circuit. So then once you start to feel that, you can bring your hands apart, and you start to feel that little bit of energy between your two hands. If you don't feel it, that's okay too. Just know that it's there. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay. Hands together. As we take a deep breath in, let's bring our hands down by our side. I have my palms facing outward, however is most comfortable to you. Releasing the breath, breathing out. Now on our next inhale in, hopefully you have a little bit of clearance and a little bit of space around you. As we breathe the breath in, we're going to slowly bring our hands up overhead as far as you can. If it's difficult to do so, stop wherever is a good place for you to stop. Maybe your hands will come together up top. You can't quite see mine all the way up top there, sorry. Maybe they come together over top, maybe they don't. And then on the exhale, we're just going to bring our hands down, okay? So now we're going to do that. We're going to do that together. So hands are down by our side. We're going to slowly take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in, your hands come up together over top. Maybe hands touch, maybe they just come up as far as they're able to. And then on the exhale, we release the hands down. Next breath in, hands swoop up over top. As your hands start to come up, feel the energy coming up from the ground, up from your being, up to the top. And release. Sending our energy back down from the top of our body down to our lower body. Once more, deep breath in. And exhale. Okay, if we're going to do it once more, try to see if you can keep your shoulders down and not shifting up by your ears. And exhale. Last little movement to get ourselves into this motivating space and not having any stuck energy is going to be a little spinal flexion. So if you have ever done any sort of yoga, you have probably heard of cat-cow or spinal flexion, where you arch your back into cat pose, and then where you drop your belly down and your tailbone goes up into cow pose. So we're going to do that, but we're going to do that from a seated position. So if you can sit up nice and straight, nice and tall, a cross-leg position if you're able to, and you're going to focus on your navel, you're going to focus on your belly button here. Now, this is our solar plexus area, so we're focusing on this powerhouse of energy area where we store energy, where we store emotions and physical energy within our body. This is where all of your internal organs are, and there is great function and power that comes from all that happens here within your gut, within your abdomen. So focus on cultivating that energy here as we take our deep breaths in and out. So as we breathe in, I want you to focus on your navel moving back towards your spine. And as your navel moves back towards your spine, your shoulders round forward, and your navel and your abdomen tucks in back towards your spine. Shoulders round forward, maybe your head comes down just as far as comfortable. And then we come forward. And then as we come forward, navel extends forward. Your back may kind of curve into a little concave formation as your navel comes forward, shoulders roll back, your abdomen is now shining forward. So those are the two different motions, okay? So as we breathe in, we're going to bring our navel back. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, navel comes back towards your spine, shoulders round forward. And breathing out. Continuing that motion on your own. Coming back to a neutral position when you're ready and when you're able. So now we're going to do both of them a couple times on our own pace, and then we're going to meet together back in this neutral position, hands on our knees here. So I want you to take 2 rounds of breaths in and breaths out. Do it twice, and then same thing with the spinal flexion. So deep breath in, rounding the spine back, exhaling. Abdomen and chest lean forward, head extends upward, back again. Breathing in, breathing out. So you're going to do 2 rounds of each, and you're just going to feel how the energy moves within your body. If you don't feel anything, that is fine too, but just see what you feel, see what you notice. Okay. Do it on your own timing or follow along with me, whichever works best for you. So breathing in. Finding space, finding movement, cultivating a little heat within our body, a little bit of energy, and a little bit of space. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me in that movement, just to get us moving, get us maybe a little bit unstuck, a little bit unstiff, or whatever it is that we need. So now we're going to close our eyes. Now we're going to come into our full meditation here. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes once you've come into your nice comfortable position. If you're not quite ready to close your eyes, soften your gaze, find a place that you can look towards and just kind of gaze towards and maybe beyond rather than focusing on. As we start to come into our meditative position, we always start by making a little space for recognizing the level of energy in the breath that we came here with. Now, perhaps your breath has already started to change from our physical movements and the inhales and the exhales that we've already taken. So just making a little space to take note of where our breath is at right now and how it feels. Does it feel satisfying or does it feel lacking? Does it feel fulfilling or does it feel a little bit shallow? Is it slow and relaxed or is it fast and rushed? Not judging, not changing, just noticing and acknowledging where you are at this moment. Perhaps you take just a moment to check in with your body and notice if you're holding tension anywhere. Perhaps you see if you can lower your shoulders down, elongate your neck and your spine. See if we can sit in a nice, quote-unquote, good meditation position. This week, there is some energy to move us. There is some motivation. There is energy to move forward. There is steady ambition. But there also may be adaptations and changes that are required. You may need to be flexible. You may need to not be too bullheaded to be stuck in one way of thinking or one way of acting. But the two energies combined, the ability to stay flexible while still staying strong and motivated. Feeling like you can tackle anything that comes along your path. There is a great ability in both of those. Slowly you start to deepen the inhale, lengthen the exhale. Each breath is slightly deeper, slightly longer than the one before it. Each exhale releases slightly more breath than the one that came before that. Today, let's see if we can take the inhales and the exhales both through our nose. If you're not able to, for whatever reason, breathe as you are able. But let's see if we can cultivate a stream of breath, a direct line through our nostrils. As we breathe in and out through our nose, through our nostrils, you can physically hear and feel that breath moving through your head. You can feel it up towards your brain. You can feel it coming down the back of your throat. You can feel it around your nose. See if you can tap into that energy by feeling and hearing that breath coming and going. Each time you breathe in, you are taking oxygen and energy from the environment around you and bringing it into your being. Each time you exhale, you are taking energy and oxygen, CO2, from your being and putting it into the environment around you. So the process and the cycle of our breath is an interaction between our energy and the collective universal energy. So easy to feel disconnected, separate from all that is. But when we think about the fact that we are breathing constantly, whether we are thinking about it or not, it's one of those autonomic functions of our body that happen without us having to focus on it. We are communicating with that universal energy every time we breathe in and breathe out. Think about that. Every time you breathe in, every time you inhale, you are bringing energy and life force into your being. And every time you exhale, you are taking part of your life force and part of your energy and part of your being, and you are putting it out into the environment and the ethers around you. In that way, how can we not be connected to Source? How can we not be connected to the divine? How could we not be connected to every other being on this planet? Breathing in and out, lengthening and deepening the breath with each inhale and exhale. Connecting to that connection that we all have through our breath. Feeling that connection, feeling that energy exchange. Feeling your part in the universal energy. Now, just as our breath connects us to that which is around us, so does our actions, our motivations, and our drives, and the things that we do. Everything we put out into the universe, whether it's a thought, an action, a movement, an idea, all of that ripples near and far. When we put positivity out into our own space, it extends far and wide. When we put out motivation and ambition, when we put out can-do energy, it extends beyond our own individual field. But all of that we put out there, all of that energy starts within our own field, starts within our own being, and within our own energy, radiates out and forward. So today we focus on cultivating our own energy, sending that out forward. As you continue to breathe in and out, knowing that you are exchanging through a relationship with the universe, we bring that focus within our being. And as we continue to exchange, we shift our focus to our part of that exchange. We focus on our own body and our own energy and our own soul. On your next deep breath in, breathe in through your entire body. Focus starts where the energy, where the air enters your body at your nostrils. But then as you breathe that air in, your focus comes down your throat, down towards your lungs. But as you inhale, it continues all the way down to the base of your spine. Inhaling and exhaling here while focusing on the base of our spine, that area that connects with the surface that is below you. Feel your connection to whatever you are sitting on, floor, a chair, a bed, a couch, a cushion. Feel that connection, that physical sensation of the connection to the surface below you. Perhaps you feel it energetically too, but focusing on that physical connection. It should feel very stabilizing. Feel very grounding, very solid. You continue to breathe in and out, feeling that solid connection to the surface below you. A base, a place to start, a place to anchor into. Feeling anchored and grounded, let's now start to bring some solid, steady energy up through our being. In your next deep breath in, feel the energy travel from the base of your spine, from that solid space that you were in. Breathe in and feel the energy moving up from the base of your spine, up across your back, across your shoulders, up into your neck, and up to the top of your head. Containing that energy within your being, but feeling it extending from the base to the crown. And then on the exhale, bringing that energy back down through your spine. Seeing if we can continue breathing in and out through our nose as much as possible. Next deep breath in brings the energy up through your back body. And exhale, sending it back down. This time as you inhale in, feel that energy coming up through the front of your body, closer to your navel rather than your spine, up through your chest and your heart space, up through your nose area, up to the top of your crown. Breathing that energy in. And exhale, sending it back through the back body. Breathing in again, through the front. Exhale through the back body. As you continue breathing in, breathing out, feeling that energy coming up through your front body and down through your back body, in through your front body, down through your back body. You notice this circuit, you notice this chain that you have. It feels very similar to when we had our palms together at the beginning and the energy was coming from our left side to the right side all the way through. This chain, this connection, very similar to the connection between your own environment and the environment around you as you breathe in and as you breathe out. On your next inhale in, I invite you to see if when you breathe in, if there is a color that appears to you. Is there an energy, a color to the energy if you ask? Perhaps you haven't seen the color, perhaps you already have seen a color. But if you invite in the possibility of breathing in a color as that energy rises up, what color would that be? Carry that color with you, whatever the first is that comes to your mind. Don't second guess it. Carry that color, that energy from the base of your spine up to the top of your crown. And exhale. Feel that color coming back down your back body all the way down to the base of your spine. Next deep breath in. Perhaps you see the same color, perhaps you see a different color. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Next time you breathe that air in, I want you to see that color come up, but I also want you to feel some heat and feel some energy rising up with that energy. And then bringing it back down, carrying it back down to the base, down your back body when you're ready on the exhale. Cultivating energy, cultivating heat, cultivating a message through the color. Continuing the process of breathing in and breathing out, cultivating the circuit within your own being, a process of your own energy rising up and coming back down. This week, you are going to find motivations. You are going to find reasons to move forward. You are going to feel like you can take on anything. This week, you can solve a problem. You can find purpose. You can find ways. You can find agency. You can find your own sovereign energy. As Mars and the Sun come together, trining from fire signs, inspiration and creative fire signs, passionate, driven fire signs. Meanwhile, in one of those very fire signs, Mercury stations to go retrograde. So as the moon is losing its light, as things are fading and waning, our energy persists. Our energy marches forward to the beat of the drum. And even as the moon is darkening, the night gets darker, we feel the sun on our face, motivating us, enlightening us, and shining a literal light on the way. There may be bumps in the road. There may be detours. We may need to stop and rethink. But new perspectives, new ways of doing things, new communications, they all are ways that allow us to keep marching to the beat of the drum. Now, all of this energy that you have cultivated within your being, this heat, this fire, this color, we're going to harness all of this energy together now. So on your next inhale in, I want you to picture all of this energy that you've cultivated coming together in a spherical shape. Perhaps you can hold it within your hands. Perhaps it's so bright and so overpowering that as you hold it within your hands, you can hardly even see your hands. Maybe you can hardly even see your arms. But you hold this energy between your left and your right hands, just as we held the energy that we cultivated in the beginning of this meditation. Form that ball and mold it into a beautiful, perfect, spherical shape. And take just a moment to sit with that energy that you have cultivated. This is your own creation, your own motivation, your own purpose and drive, all right here. Your own life force. You and you alone cultivated this energy from within your own being. I want you to take that ball and I want you to condense it down into a smaller shape, one that is more manageable to carry with you. It's still just as bright and just as powerful as it was before, but you've compacted that energy. Small enough to carry it with you in your pocket everywhere you go this week. See yourself taking that ball of energy and literally tucking it into your pocket or into your purse or wherever that you'll have it with you at all times. Feel the sun shining down on your face as you tuck your energetic ball into your pocket. Feel the ability to move forward from wherever you've been, whether that's from a stuck place or a place that you've already been marching forward. And as you feel the sun shining down on your face, you hear the faint, steady, unchanging beat of the drum in the background. Perhaps as you hear it and you focus on it, it begins to get a little louder, or perhaps it stays in the background. However, you know that it's there at all times. Feeling and hearing the beat of the drum. We take one nice deep breath in together. And on the exhale, we release any pent-up energy that we may have. One more nice, big, full, deep breath in, the biggest, deepest breath you've taken all day. And release it, a big breath release. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you that are here. This week, there's some good energy here to move forward. It's not a wide variety of things like we stated in the beginning, so it's focus, it's driven. It's the ability to take your own purpose and move forward with it. Mercury's going to go retrograde, so there may be some things that we need to look back on. We may need to revisit things, so stay flexible. That is the key kicker to remember this week. But I have good feelings about this week, and then we're coming into the new moon on Sunday, so I will see you all here then. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless all of you too. Saying hi to everybody that's in the comments. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I appreciate all of you. So thank you, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. See you all next week. Bye.